lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back with me again, my boy Eli.
What up?
Talking some Turtles. Volume 4. We're back with Volume 4. We took a quick little break to talk about some other Turtle stuff, whether it was, the Tails issue, which was kind of very steeped within this current run. And then, of course, some old Mirage stuff, because we're always going to try to sprinkle some of that in. But we're back. Issue 11. Last time we talked, issue 10. Obviously, you can see this. Splinter died. And this is dealing with the aftermath of that.
We didn't even do it on purpose, but it was a major cliffhanger.
I know. I didn't do it on purpose either. But it was a good break. It was a good point to kind of take a step back and kind of talk some other stuff. But this is a great issue. I love this cover. What can I say? Dooney's always killing it with the covers, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, it's respectful to the reader when the cover image is a panel from inside the comic. It's like this is a scene and an image that we see in the comic, and they chose it for the cover, and it's like, okay, respect. Yeah, this is a moment in the comic. It's not always that way.
Yeah, it's a lot of the time not that way, and sometimes it has nothing to do with the story. Even not only is it not like art from inside. Yeah,
right. And it's not the artist who does the interiors, and
so stupid. Yeah, but the Turtles covers have always been great. I think every iteration of Turtles has had good covers.
Yeah, we get a really cold open in here where we are just kind of brought into these two girls talking about this park, their college life.
It also is like the usual thing. They do this a lot in this volume, where it opens up with people that have nothing to do with the main story. And that's fine, because it's always something that's going to lead to a story moving forward. So even though the people that you're talking about, or what that we see, like within, it's like 5-6 pages sometimes, where like it's not the Turtles, it's not Turtles side characters, none of that.
And it's like if you're going to develop these characters who are eventually going to move the story along, they want to give you enough time to like care about them, and give them some personal information and make their lives matter and make their their demise matter. And so like
it is funny though, because their whole conversation, it doesn't mean anything. I'm not trying to like take away from the conversation.
No, I mean,
but it's a pointless conversation. It moves.
Yeah, it's an intentionally banal.
Just to simply have these people talking about something, and then it just pans out. I love the way
it's great.
It gets smaller, and you see this dude just fucking creeping on them, man, in the I don't say woods, but in the trees.
Yeah, through like Central Park or whatever. And Peter Laird has a way of writing this kind of banal, like meaningless stuff that I feel like is something that maybe is like from his life. Like, did he go to this college? Does he know these like restaurants? And does he make this special cheese and apple cracker delight? It's like, this comes from somewhere, and it's great.
It has to, because like, how do you just make up? I don't say,
you don't.
You have to fucking pull it from somewhere, man.
Yeah. Love it. All right. They continue chatting. The next thing here. And they're like, exactly what I was laughing at too. That's an intriguing concept.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's funny. She's like, incoming weirdness. Like, and then I love this too. She fucking pulls out the blade that she was.
That she was like cutting the apple with. They're like, I don't know if that's gonna do it. And then they're like, oh my God, wait, it's getting real now. We're surrounded. And they're like, they try to start yelling at them, and they're like, just call them drinkies.
I love that she's like, maybe you should get out your celly.
Yeah.
I don't really remember people calling it celly. I'm sure they did. But
I think that I feel like, Peter Laird's got a teenage daughter at this point. So maybe he's getting like, slang from her or something. Yeah. Grab your celly, bruh.
But it's weird too, like all these like vampires all look from like different generation of vampire.
Yeah.
Like this dude really looks like fucking really old school with that fucking bolo tie and fucking the weird fucking
that big jacket, like
haircut,
like Gotham by Gaslight style. Like big.
There's no explanation.
They've been around for a long time.
Where do these vampires come from? Never seen them.
I think I think that maybe there's a tale. See, I'm not sure how far along the tales are right now, but they talk about them a little more in the tales.
But I wonder if
And
it's
there's
kind of the same thing with the ongoing, like when we talked about Cha Ocho, that issue 6 came out, I think, well after the issue where he was introduced here. Like that issue of Tales didn't exist because I don't think it's called out to like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
for
you're
his
right.
backstory, go to Tales. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So
you're right.
maybe
You're
it's
right.
like they do it after the fact to kind of
Yeah,
help
I think you're
bolster the
right.
story.
Yeah, because there's a story where like Shadow's like a teenager and she goes to like a emo concert
Mhm.
and Raphael like tails her. And it turns out that the singer of the band is like a vampire or something. And then the audience is all vampires and Raph has to like fight them all off and stuff.
I wonder if I've missed that issue. I gotta check my stuff.
So yeah, they're really battling them here. They're like coming. And we did develop a little bit of a relationship with these girls. We care about them now. They're just shredding them. They're starting to eat them up until the one escapes and she runs over to the mounted cops and like, please help me. I've been eaten. I'm being eaten. There's monsters on the world. Little Tim Robinson there. Come on, he's
Yeah.
getting in everything. So yeah, she gets them.
It's a good looking horse by Lawson, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I know this is a
Any
weird
type
thing
of
to point out, but he did
transformation.
it. He did a good job on that horse.
His attention to detail is great.
Look at this, 7 pages, no turtles, man. Like it's just
That's volume 4 for you.
It's pretty crazy. I don't mind it. I think it's interesting. Now I want to say it's kind of not more than 9 pages because this is page 9. But if you want to be technical, there is a fucking turtle on the log.
There is a turtle. Not the one we're looking for. But...
Yeah, not the one we're looking for, dude.
Okay, but we do see on the page before that the girl is dead now. So the one girl's dead,
and you
the
can
other
see
girl
the puncture
survives.
marks too if you like really pay attention.
So she might actually come back. Though I guess it's not always like sometimes vampires like drain their prey and other times they just like bite them once.
I
and
never understood the difference.
I know.
It's like
it's just
I
whatever
don't
serves
know
the
if it's
story.
ever been explained. Like, how does sometimes a fucking vampire bites you, you turn into a vampire, but then other times you're just fucking dead? Now, is it the length of which they're biting you? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, but that's neither here nor there. I do like this.
So
page,
we
though,
do
with
get
the turtle.
fun. Yeah, and the tones and the like Kirby crackle and stuff, and it kind of sets the stage for what's coming. This is the site of the funeral. Again, they take their time because they're not like they can do whatever they want. They're not like Marvel gives us 20 pages, 19 pages or whatever, and like they're just like we can do whatever we want. So we have this slow turtle establishing shot, and it swims past the Ninja Turtle, and now you're right. Here we are on page 11 when we first really get our turtle.
I don't know if this is intentional, but the eyes of the turtle right here, like the turtle looks fucking freaked out. Like, what the fuck?
Like, was that just a giant turtle?
Yeah.
So he plooshes out there, and Mikey is walking into the shore where things are starting to work for the thing, and everyone's kind of like dealing with the grief in their own way.
Yeah, I like that Raph is just fucking hacking away at this log with an axe.
He's like, we need more wood. Chop, 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 chop. And they're just like, Raph, chill, bro.
I like this panel too with Raph, how they kind of make the background almost like faded looking, so like it's more established with him and the axe and stuff. It's a really great panel.
It's fully tones and no like holding lines. So, yeah, that's awesome. He's like, I got a little extra energy to burn off. Let's go. I mean, you can see history laid down by like the Leo book and the tones and the feel still being carried through in this type of book.
Oh yeah, dude. It's also it's interesting too. Like this Mikey that we see in this volume 4 reminds me a lot of the Mikey we see in like Last Ronin, like a more melancholy and more like contemplative, Michelangelo, not the happy-go-lucky one that most people associate him with, and I think it's really interesting that it's more established in this volume than any other volume that preceded it.
I mean, what happens to the party, dude, when the party ends?
Yeah. Oh, this is a great shot too.
And they're, you know, starting to build this pyre and this like ship, this grave that's going to go out on the ocean or out in the lake. And then we see this.
The way the
Yeah,
sunlight
exactly.
comes through, dude. Oh my god, it's so good.
It's glorious. And then Donnie's peeking through. He's kind of got a little idea of his own. I was maybe a little confused about what's actually going on over here. He goes
I'm
in,
confused too.
right. He takes a little clipping of the wood or something like that and
I
puts it in a little baggie.
I think it's something from Splinter though. I
Oh,
think
he
he
puts
clipped something off of Splinter.
Oh, is he in there then? I guess.
Yeah,
I thought he was like laid. Okay, you might be right. He takes like maybe some hair.
right. Because like, unless Splinter's not in there, and I'm wrong,
Yeah.
I mean, because
See,
you never
that's
really
what's
see him, but he says, "Forgive me, Sensei." So like, what the
right.
fuck
So
is he
he
doing?
has to do that.
And I don't know if you notice this, but constantly throughout this whole issue, it always looks like Donatello has this like look about him, and uh, you'll see the pupils. Like you can see the pupils here, like he's looking over his shoulder, right? In the
Yeah.
panel on the bottom, and then he runs away, and then like you'll see that throughout, where he kind of looks like he's up to something, and he's hiding
Gotcha.
something. That's what I mean. Like that's
Gotcha.
what I kind of saw throughout. But then we get this,
And I feel like all throughout this volume, they're like planting little seeds that they didn't really always get to
they didn't come
like
to fruition.
you know, yeah, come to fruition.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an amazing establishing shot of the full of all the people at the funeral.
I love the turtles hanging their heads low too. Like everybody else is kind of looking straight, but the turtles are all looking down.
So we starting to see who is attending the funeral. We've got April and Casey and Shadow and April's sister, I guess, there at the top.
Okay, look at page 19. Look at Donatello right there. Do you see the way he's the only one you see the pupils, and he's looking at over at Raph and Mikey, and he has this like weird look to him.
Like I've been working on something.
I've been doing something, yeah. And like what kind of like that, what are they gonna think of me? Kind of like that's the feeling I got. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
No, I would agree. And then on the next page, this is the first time that we do see that, you know, Splinter is in there.
Yeah.
And they swim him out and kind of push him off. And then they're like, look, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Radical. So people are kind of coming out of the woodwork to come say hi and pay their respects.
I do like the panel with Leo at the bottom of 22, where like the rest of the turtles are going back to shore, but he just takes one last look.
Oh yeah,
behind over his shoulder.
They all had this special relationship, you know, so they're all taking these moments.
Oh, I see the people that you said are guests. Eastman and Laird.
There you go.
But as they looked when they first created, probably. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think Kevin Eastman looked like that at this point in time.
Yeah. And it's like Casey and April, then Peter and Kevin, then two Oots, and then the next panel there's like I think this guy is established as a golem with the pie on his head, and then there's like a cat person that I'm not sure if gets developed, but in the next issue, someone asks in the letters column like, "Who are these two people?" And they're like, "Well, you'll have to read Tales."
Yeah, I don't remember them. So I wonder if I read that issue of Tales, because I couldn't remember, although it's been years since I've read that volume of Tales too, the issues I do have. But
yeah,
I wish that they would be collected again, like completely collected, because they never, they started doing it.
Yeah.
But they didn't
there's like
it
maybe
off.
2 or 3 Mirage trades of that Turtles volume 2.
Wait, Mirage?
But I think that was all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw on one of these Turtles groups I'm on online. Someone was selling them.
Okay, I know IDW has collected them, but they colored them, which I prefer them in black and white.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love this. The end right here. After we've seen everybody, Leo speaks, because obviously he's the one that should, I believe, out of all the turtles, he's the one should kind of give the eulogy. Sure. But you see this like figure floating. I mean, obviously anybody that reads Turtles, like you can see the outline, you know who it is. It's Renette, right? That's how you say it, Renette.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And they all like get ready to battle. There's this really interesting screen tone that they use. It's kind of a warbly, and they're like, "Dang, what an entrance, Renette, just in time." And this is funny. Like when it really mattered, he was kind to me.
That's what I
There's so many like little
that's what I
there's so many
said.
little things in this, and I'm like, dang, what Easter eggs are we missing? Like, what does this refer
I
right
know.
back
I
to?
wish he kind of said it. I wish there was a little box here that told us where to go for that story, but it's not something
Yes.
Peter often does where he's like, go to this issue.
Nah, he's like, you guys just should know.
Yeah.
Should know that.
And I think
And
it's
it's
interesting.
interesting.
Oh, you're probably going to say the
Yeah.
same thing I was going to say. April?
I was gonna say that this golem speaks in math, and then
Okay.
Renette's like, shh, later. And you're
I
like, what?
I thought it was interesting too is April's reaction to Renette.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I
She's
wonder
like,
if
I wonder if she
yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking take me back in time and see who my real parents are or something like that. It's like with time travel, you can always solve these problems really easily. But
This shot
like,
too,
what?
establishing the lighting the fire too.
He
I always
fires
thought
it
it would have
out.
been cool if there was another turtle, if bow and arrow was their weapon of choice.
That is for what's her name, right? For the female turtle in the new IDW. She has the bow and arrow.
No, Jenica has those like claw type things. I
But
think
I thought
that's
she had a bow and arrow at
I'm
first.
sure well, I'm sure she uses other stuff, but I think her like established weapon
Oh
is
yeah,
those
it's like
fucking
the
claws.
claws.
There
And
we
then
go.
here we
There's
get the
the
cover.
cover, yeah.
Some classic Lawson stuff around him there.
I always
All
like
right,
to, like I
moving
didn't
on.
mention it, but we talk about the the squiggly lines on the shells, but like the muscle or the veins popping out on their hands.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
Lawson thing for sure.
I think I was saying Lawson too, but I think maybe it's even a Talbot ism as well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because he's also inking and stuff.
And they work together a lot, like later in this book when it was kind of just them two on the art duties.
You got a little guest in the water. You got Leatherhead.
Leatherhead.
He knew. Somehow he knew.
And then it's burning and burning, and we get another full group shot, front and back. Fugitoid's there, but he's only an extra. He doesn't get any lines. Kevin and Pete.
Yeah.
It's just sad, man. It burns and burns and burns, and then we kind of pan back and we see that everyone's gone except for Leo, who's crying.
Yeah, this is a beautiful
Weeping
page.
first.
Back
And then
to
we
New York.
immediately hard cut. Yep. We got these foot soldiers running away from someone who we don't really know. He's got this epic sword and this crazy costume, and maybe looks like he's Greek or Roman or something like that. He's just
Yeah, I was thinking like
crap.
Aztec kind of.
That sword,
Yeah.
definitely. Just beating the tar out of him. Chump, chup, chup, thud with the feck. Cuts him up and then leaves a little triangle. And you're like, what does this mean?
Yeah, and it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not dealt with immediately either following this issue.
Not at all. And it's interesting. I like these turtle tracks. I like the letters column. I kind of don't read the full letter. I'll like go to like Peter's reply and kind of like read a little back. And
yeah, that's what I do. Because these letters are long, dude. Like for the most
they're
part.
very long. But he answers some interesting questions about like reprints and
talking about the Peter David series at Dreamwave.
Uh-huh.
Which I thought was interesting that they licensed out the adaptation. And they did that with Archie too. But I think it's interesting that they didn't keep it in-house. Like they could have kept it in-house, but they're just like, nah, you guys do that. We're going to do our thing.
Yeah. And the Dreamwave series is like pretty good, but it's rare. I'm not sure I own any copies, maybe one or two, but they're talking about the toys a little bit. Yeah. You say like Peter David. Nothing really too epic until we get to these ones cutting down Jim Lawson, or until we get to Peter's full essay about his new purchase of a Segway. And then we get like basically 3 pages of Segway talk and his adventures on Segway, which I mean, hey man, that's pretty interesting. At that time it was brand new, and we get these photos on the back of Pete going through a puddle and up on the top of the mountain. It's all cloudy. In the back of this comic, it's like it doesn't feel like a Ninja Turtle comic. It feels like you really are reading like a small press book.
Yeah, it's just getting insight into the guy behind the comic, like it has nothing to do with turtles. It's not him holding a turtle toy. It's not him going over pages. It's him on a fucking Segway. It's pretty
Yeah.
fucking funny.
He was one of the first couple people, it seems like, to get a Segway.
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression that like the guy who invented Segways was like from that area, but I thought that that information came from this issue, and so maybe I just understood it wrong. But
Another great issue.
interesting, yeah, another great ish, man.
Can't wait for issue 12. I say this all the time. We love doing this. Guys, check out the turtle playlist we have. Follow us on social media. Our links are down below. And hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time we drop a new vid. Pretty much every Tuesday, you can expect a new Turtles episode from Comic Lounge from myself and Eli. And hope you guys follow along. And on that note, we're out.
Hell yeah.